Today's High Performance Podcast is brought to you by Josh Vegan Digital. It's where you'll find our incredible short courses. In under 60 minutes, you'll grow all the key skills, covering specific areas like how to hire an assistant, grow a team, to list better properties, to grow better fees, and to master your pipeline. Welcome to High Performance, the podcast featuring Josh Vegan and Alexander Phillips. Alexander, one of the great conversations is like really thinking about how you grow a phenomenal team. And to me, it's really different in that I see a lot of agents who will go to put someone on because they want an associate agent, they want a junior agent, they want someone to do all of the running around. What I've noticed a lot with you is that you're really full on about helping your people to actually grow phenomenal careers and to make sure they become great real estate agents inside of your team. So I don't see much Team Phillips. I see a lot about the focus of it's you and Gavin, or you and Vince, or you and Kenji, or you and Thomas as a part of that conversation. Or sometimes it's just those guys together on their listing and making that happen. Why is it so important to start to, give your team rope and give them enough exposure and opportunity to create more transactions to free you up as the lead agent?
Josh, I think for someone to learn, and I learned myself like this, you've got to be thrown in the deep end, and you've got to actually let them. You've got to throw them in the deep end where they have kickbacks and they get rejection and they miss listings, they miss sales. They're down. They're not performing because for whatever reason the vendor or the buyer actually doesn't like working with them or whatever it might be. But I think where I see a lot of issues with agents is holding the hand of someone too much, but also taking full control. Yeah, I am very much of a control freak, but I do let my team learn. I do let them do their own listings. I'll let them do their own buyer work, negotiations, and it's the only way they're going to learn. It's the only way you're going to be able to step away from the business as well. Like I see a lot of agents, I hear a lot of high-performing agents that do, similar numbers to us, but I've heard that they don't even have holidays. Like I do, 10 to 12 weeks a year, and we do miss multiple listings. I think, these holidays, for the 5.5 weeks I was away, that we had a very high conversion rate because my team are really good at actually listing, so that they can go out into a $1 million unit, a $20 million house, which Vince listed while I was away, and actually, compete against lead agents and secure listings. So, you for one, it allows them to grow, allows you to step away from the business, and that's really the way they're only going to build up their own profile, because it's not about the brand, it's really about them, or me. It's about them building themselves up and hopefully one day, either doing their, becoming an own agent or, having their own brand themselves.
The great conversation I love here is that it's not that you're not prepared to let go. It's the interesting conversations that demonstrate that you've got the knowledge. So if I'm going to ask you, what's the most recent sale in the building? Who are 2 or 3 key buyers that you want to go after it? What are the strata? What's the conversation around development potential for this area? Like, they've got to know those sorts of things. And when they know their information, then ultimately you're more than free to let them run. And this is an interesting conversation because it comes back down to, basic qualification skills. And I've watched these guys in terms of how they follow up and the conversations that they do. They're in a position here that literally they know about the high standards of what it's got to be like to be inside of Alexander Phillips's team, and their drive every day is to make sure they go and deliver that. And I think that this is a really important conversation. Is it's like, you're more than happy to not be in the transaction and not have to negotiate with the buyer and not have to go back and have the conversation with the seller if it's an unpleasant one. They can do it, but they've got to demonstrate the knowledge, the skill, the experience. Sometimes role play with you. So, Alex, this is what I'm going to say to the seller. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. What do you think? And you go, mate, that's 100% right. Or, hey, have you thought about X, Y, Z? And what I love about here is it's live and dynamic coaching. Do you think that there's not enough coaching of people in teams from the lead agent as opposed to telling them what to do? So coaching is about the questions to kind of get them there.
Correct. And, just saying do this, do that, not saying, asking why would you do this, and getting them to really understand, how to actually learn and create their own, themselves. So I think a lot of agents are just, holding on too much, and they need to let go.
I think this is the big conversation, is that literally what you're looking for is that people want to really go and build and develop a great career. I happen to be down at Indigo, one of the coffee shops here in Double Bay this morning, and the owner there was like, I only ever buy or sell through Alex. I said, oh, why is that? He goes, mate, he's just so sharp, so focused, so on it. But most importantly, he's just got great people around him. And I think this is the big conversations, that people are judging you and looking at you based on the quality of the people that are inside of your team. There's that age-old story is, whatever you accept is your standard. So if you accept poor performance amongst your team, that's your standard. If you expect high performance amongst your team and you then go to deliver it, that's now the standard that you expect everyone else to live up to make sure that they can do great work out there in the marketplace.